Dear ladies and gentlemen, the Woozle is back with another video, with another tutorial, because we are now at version 1.0 with the WooselMod, 1.01 to be completely precise, but actually this is just a little hotfix. So yeah, we're dealing with the 1.0 functionality, so if you're interested in an overview regarding all of the WooselMod features, this is the right place now. And yeah, enjoy watching this video and hopefully it helps to provide you a comprehensive insight into all the WooselMod features and how things work. So that might help. So let's get right into it without further ado. So I'm now right here in my cockpit view that I set up here for the cabin, or the cockpit to be completely precise here. So just regular cockpit view here, nothing special. And as mentioned, I have created another tutorial how to create those cabin views like you see here, for example, right? So I just switch back here to the cabin. So this is one of my views I have set up here for the WooselMod cabin display here to interact with that. Then of course we have the cabin back here, as you can see, with all the passengers visible by default. And that is basically the cold and dark state, I would say, of the WooselMod, right? There's no power to the aircraft, the shades are down, the passengers are visible though. We could maybe rethink some of one or the other default settings, but yeah, actually, I think the plane should be empty when you cold and dark, right? Nothing happened so far, so no boarding or whatever. But yeah, we can do that maybe. There's always something to improve, right? But yeah, I'm talking too much already. So let's get right into the features. And I would say maybe, let's start with the Woozle chat panel for now. So as you can see here, it's pitch black because it's a pretty simple reason for that, because we have no power. So I just go back here into the cockpit. So I turn on the battery power like so. And then I go back here and then you can see the loading screen coming alive and you see all the window shades opening up automatically. So that's basically the boot up sequence, I call it. And here you can see here on the screen as well the new version of the WooselMod as well. So yeah, okay. 1.01 is actually the current version. So as mentioned, 1.01 was a hotfix. So I'm just noticing here, I don't have this one here updated, but I think the one on FlightSim.to shows 1.01 here as a version. So if you're wondering which version you're using of the WooselMod, you can always check here. So my bad that this one I missed to update for this particular tutorial. But anyway, it should be there for you. So we have the screen here now, and this is actually the kind of starting screen, I would call it. And if you click on it, left click, you navigate it here automatically to this kind of menu. And here you have a couple of options, and maybe worth to mention is if you do not click anything here, you don't do basically any interaction whatsoever, you get redirected automatically to the starting screen. So don't be surprised if you getting pushed back here to the starting screen, because this is kind of screensaver, starting screen, whatever you want to call it. So you have to click again, right? And then you're back here. And then you have, of course, the different menu options. So starting with a product card, so a kind of technical insight into the CJ4, some specifics like dimensions, engine, parameters, whatever, what we're dealing with here, weights, maximum passengers, performance, whatnot, something nice here for the techies maybe. Just take a look. Yeah, so what we're dealing with here actually. So yeah. So you click on it, it closes down, and maybe moving on first to the cabin control, to this menu item down here. So if we navigate down here, you can see we also have a couple of options. And one of the options, maybe let's start here on the right-hand side, is to toggle the window shades in one go. So as you can see, they're up right now. So if I decide to close them, I will just hit the button and then they all close at once. So pretty simple feature, so everything should be able to deal with that. Nothing much to explain, so we click open, and as you can see, we have this green color here just to highlight, okay, this is the state that's currently active. As simple as that. Same for the cabin lights. Maybe we need to make things a little bit darker here just to showcase that a little bit better. So as per default, you see here we have the cabin lights to on. And if you like to dim it, same procedure. You click dim, it gets in a kind of dim mode, and then off for sure. We're now in pitch black mode again. Maybe keep it to dim for now. And here we go. All right. And maybe let's then also go back and maybe quickly checking out the product card again. Or actually this menu. So this also changes when we talk about like here now. So if we really are late in the day, we get a different background picture like you see here. And also the product card is in a kind of dark mode then. To just, yeah, mention that in addition. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go back to bright sunshine, more or less. And then we'll also check out here the next few menu items. So before moving on to the flight map, it's worth to mention, and now I got kicked out again, which is completely fine. It's worth to mention that the settings menu here only contains at the moment one item, which is the SimBrief Pilot ID. So SimBrief Pilot ID is needed because of the map. We'll take a look in a sec. So you just enter your SimBrief Pilot ID like you did previously for the working title mod. But if you used the working title mod before, it should actually be already there. So if you're in new user of the WooselMod, you have to enter it just once, hit save and close, and then you're done. You don't have to touch it anymore because it's persistently saved. So no need to jump in there at a later point in time. Just do it once and you golden. Now, come into the flight map. As mentioned, we need this SimBrief ID because we need to fetch the flight plan that you planned previously on SimBrief. So before you hit the flight plan, the flight map and item here, make sure that you generated your flight on SimBrief, and there was also a little indication here, and you will see something like this. Maybe it's not the best planning, but yeah, it's not always a straight line. So in this case, we have a straight line, but the route is actually being plotted the same way like you see it on the SimBrief map preview of your route. So yeah, you see here, I think this arrival kinda. And then you're able to, yeah, basically see your departure airport. When you hover over it, you see the ICAO code as well, and also arrival ICAO code. You also see the names actually of the airports. So we have the Madeira airport here as an example. We have the Humberto Delgado airport in Lisbon. So that's that. You can also zoom here, you can zoom out, you can zoom in to a certain degree. Into the map, you can hold left click and just drag the map around like so. And yeah, so scroll wheel does not anything because that's how Microsoft Flight Sim works. So, as mentioned, if you want to zoom, you just use the controls here at the top left of the. And what else to mention? Actually, not much. So we have here distance to destination, which is also showing you both units, so both miles and we have kilometers as well, so those change here on a regular update interval. We have time to destination, which is blank at the moment because we're not, so we're static on the ground, we're not moving whatsoever, so that's why you don't see any indication here. But once, you know, we get going, we get rolling, even taxiing, you see the time getting updated here. And then we have the current altitude, which is of course something that you would see straight away. 168 feet, and then also, if you're interested, of course, in meters. So that's basically it. So yeah, I think there's not much to say in addition to that. So if you zoomed around here, you want to go back and come back in, you're getting centered automatically onto the route. So if you get lost on the map, just go back and come back in via this back button. That's actually all. So, just a little gimmick to be honest, but yeah, I think it's nice, you know, if you're getting bored during your CJ4 flights, you can play around with those things a little bit. Good. So 10 minutes into the video, so I guess that should be a more or less a good overview about the cabin interaction, about the display we have here on board. So that's covered then. Alrighty, so where do we go next? So we can first maybe take a look at the passengers and then, yeah, more or less go this way and then come back later. Okay, so passengers, pretty easy. Was one of the first features, was created for the WooselMod. So we have 3 passengers on board. We have a male passenger here. We have 2 female passengers. And if you want to hide them, so at the moment, I think in general it makes sense to hide them all in one go. So there's a click spot here on the head or headrest of the male passenger. And if you click that, like so, you can toggle visibility of all the passengers in one go. Click the headrest again, and then they come back. Simple as that. Now, when we talk about other eye candy assets, we can go here to the female passenger in this seat. And there's a click spot here in this first cup holder on her right arm. And when you click that, you can see your kind of white champagne glass with a WooselChat branding on it. We have some champagne in there, kind of champagne. And that's also activated then and visible for all passengers. So all passengers have their champagne available then. Simple as that. Good. Then, what's next? We have cushions on board. So cushions always important on private jets. So we have a click spot here on this seat. Click it, and then you'll see those fancy, plushy cushions for each empty seat, I will call it. So here we go. Cushions are there. And of course you can also, right, as always, just click on them again and then you can hide them as you desire. Also for the champagne glasses, everything is being possible with one click, of course. So we have the cushions. So what else do we have? We have, of course, the functionality for each window to operate them individually. So if I click here, just clicking, and then you can see this shade is coming down. I can also toggle this shade, for example, and it's again a one-click functionality. So the shade is down, right? I want to bring it up again, click again, going up. There's no individual click spot here, left and right, because I think that's too cumbersome. You just click on it. It's a pretty simple movement. There's nothing else to be really considered, so not overcomplicating things. That was basically the intention behind that. Just clicking and you're good to go. So that's just when you want to operate them individually, pretty simple. Good. Then one of the major features also in the early days of the WooselMod was the automatic tray tables for those club seat configuration things. I think they're called like that. And here, if you click on this, you see it's in a different kind of color compared to stock wood here. So you find it pretty easily, right? So click on that here, on that handle. And then we have an unfolding of the table, like so. You can do that on both sides, like so. So unfolding all the tables. And if you want to fold them again, so there's also this bar down here. Click them, and then it's getting folded up once more. Also, one click does the whole thing. So now we have more options here. So once the table is unfolded for the male passengers, we have the chance to click here on this part of the table, or left click, and then when you see a laptop coming up, click on the lid, and then it opens up. So that's for the male passenger, so kind of business dude, sure. And then for the female passenger on this side, we have also a click spot here. Instead of the notebook, you can enjoy some tasty cake, like that. All right. And then, of course, you click and same procedure. And also here, it actually auto-hides, right? If you just click here and then it gets folded away. Also, we did not forget about the backseaters here. So we have this woman here with a smaller version of the tray table. as in the real aircraft. So we have a smaller one like so. And for her, we have actually the smartphone, which is unlocked. Oh boy, so we know our next destination here. Boston to New York. Okay, we got that covered though. And also here, even though there's no passenger, it's possible to operate the tray table the same way. So having it all there, I think is a nice touch. So also hide, unhide, right? Hold it away. It just does it automatically. Right, so that's it for that part as well. I think I did not forget anything regarding that part of the aircraft. So now let's move a little bit further back. So that was also kind of thing because I thought about what else we could do. And if you remember from a stock aircraft, there's this gap, this hole here in the back. I think in a real aircraft you would have a kind of curtain or something like this. But, you know, curtains, whatever. We don't deal with curtains these days. We deal with real stuff. Right? What about a little nice sliding marble door? Whatever, marble style. Of course, it has to be light because we're talking about aviation. But anyway, on the right-hand side, you can see here the operating panel of this whole mechanic, I should say. We have an open and close button here, and if you click on the open button, you see the magic happen here for this. Let's call it lavatory in the back. So the whole thing just disappears here, and then you can basically enjoy a nice time here on this mobile lavatory, and then also able to close the door, of course, from this side, because right, you want to have some private time here on the lavatory. Pretty cool, pretty nice. So you're open to use that for sure if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Good. And then I think that was it for the back part of the aircraft. So let's move back further. So remember, I'm still in the cockpit view. You have to be in the cockpit view to operate all those things. You're not able to do this in any way if you're using the drone view camera. So I know a few people were wondering why they were not able to interact. The drone view camera is not suitable whatsoever with this kind of mod. You have to set up your custom cockpit views, your custom cabin views as mentioned, and then you can do all this stuff here. So, latest feature of the WooselMod, still some updates to come, maybe to refine a few things, and you can see here we have the door and the stairs to board and deboard the aircraft. So, as you can see, we have here click spot to open the door, and there's also a special animation to it for this handle, so you can watch it like so. So push that part in, and then the door opens. So that's how it works in the real aircraft as well. So trying to keep it as real as it gets. And now you could also click here on this kind of stair part though to make this stair unfold as well. And now I'm able to deboard here. And remember, I'm still in cockpit view. I'm not in drone view whatsoever. So that's still the cockpit view I'm in. And I can basically move out here out of the aircraft. How it looks now. And also from the outside, you can see here the handle is opened like it should be in the real aircraft as well. So for sure, click spots are available as well from the outside because, yeah, I just moved outside, right? It's still the same view, the same area, the same camera, I should rather say. So if you click here stairs again, you can also unfold it from here for sure. And you can close the door by clicking again here into this area of the inner door handle. Or if you want to keep it realistic, you can also click here and then the whole door closes up from the outside, and then, you know, we have a closed door again. Good stuff. So that's it so far. I hope you got some good insight into the feature of the WooselMod again. So hopefully I did not miss any major thing, but that should be basically it. Oh, I think there's one thing I actually forgot to mention. So let me go back here into the cockpit. We also have a fire extinguisher. Forgot to mention that. So this one was also added with one of the, let me go here, with one of the recent updates. So we have fire extinguisher down here now as well. So same position, same thing like in the real aircraft. So yeah, that's down here. It's just eye candy. You cannot activate it or something like that, right? No functionality to it whatsoever, but you know, it's, I think, eye candy. It's kind of nice to have it. So, what else to say? So, I think that's it. So don't forget to check flightsim.to for regular updates. Let me know in the comments if there's any issue you encounter, especially with this update in terms of the cabin door. There might be one or the other bugs I have not considered because, yeah, it's a kind of complex thing I did there to make this possible. And yeah, make sure that you use it with the latest AAU update in the simulator. So install the latest AAU update. Yeah, what else to say? So we're also waiting for Navigraph to release their integration for the Navigraph charts again into the aircraft, and then I will also check out if we can bring back that zooming and panning of the charts here with a mouse. So initially what I had in the early days of the WooselMod. So that's maybe still on the horizon. Maybe also doing some sounds, because currently there's no sounds to the whole things back here, so maybe thinking about that at a later point in time. But overall, I think that's it. And yeah, what else to say? Just thinking. So in general, it should be compatible with the most third-party liveries you get on flightsim.to and so on, unless they are modifying any of the CJ4 stock models. Then it might be an issue. But you can also let me know if there's anything you find that causes any impact, any issue to your existing mods. A few people reported that sometimes it helped, you know, to get rid of the WooselMod. Of course, always remember to delete the old WooselMod version, right? Please make sure that you always just copy the latest version and don't just, you know, copy and paste and overwrite with a new version and leave the old version in the community folder and things like that. Always a clean WooselMod. Latest version, just push it into the community folder. Make sure that you remove the old version before. That's the best way, the cleanest way to do it. And I think if you're using a livery, it might help, you know, to just remove the livery, start up the simulator just with a WooselMod, close it down, and then re-add your liveries back into the community folder. Sometimes Microsoft Flight Sim has some issues there with the mods and whatever. So yeah, just as a hint there. Okay, that's it. I think it took me a while to explain everything. So also here from the outside view for sure. CJ4 is still a great aircraft, and hope you enjoy the mod. And I will see you then for the next one. Yeah, cheers, I would say. Have a good one. And I will see you very soon. Appreciate the downloads, appreciate the comments as always, and see you for the next one. Cheers, peace out, bye bye, woozle out.